Now, what does you want to know about now?
Just show me, tell me about the people on the.
Well, that's my mother's Sunday school class. That's my mother there, and that's her Sunday school class. This is RQ and his wife, but you want to pictures, and that's my brother. That was my wife there. Of course, oops. That was Angela. You got it? That's Angela there, that there. And that's James. And that's Glory Jean again. A lot of these pictures just keep repeating themselves. This is Roy Brookshire and his baby. And there's Angela again, believe it or not. She's about to shoot you. And that's the three of them together, Angela, James, and Glory Jean together.
Do that again.
Angela, Glory Jean, and James. That's when I only had the three. And, of course, that was me when I was in the Navy. You know, you'd tell that, though.
Do that again.
Right there.
And that one there, that's when I was in the Navy. Back in 43, I reckon that was. That's my sister and her son and her daughter. And
the older lady there.
that's my wife's mother, Miss Shavers. Now, she worked in the cotton mill for, well, I reckon until she retired. And this is my mother and my baby here.
So that's the lady down there is the sister of the woman we talked with this morning. Did we get a picture of that, Jamie? Yeah.
Doris Shivers.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Doris Shave.
Shivers' sister.
No, that's not her sister.
Ah, I see.
Doris Shavers didn't have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
She only had a brother.
Mm.
You are talking about the kind of elder lady, aren't you? About my age, a little bit older.
Yeah.
That's Doris, but she doesn't have a sister. She has a brother. Now this is Edna's mother.
What I want to do now is to get a cutaway of his face. He's looking down.
Okay.
Sorry.
Roll it. Okay.
I can take that out of there.
Take a half step back. There you go. Nice.
That's me. That's me and my mother. She's older than me. And that's my older brother. That's my daddy. And that's my brother next to me, Shelby.
Do it again.
Buddy, Mama, me, Papa, and Shelby. They get it? Or did I cover it
No,
up?
you got it.
That's fine. Okay, good. Now, Jamie.
I'll go reverse cutaway.
We just need. All right, now, go, Jamie.
Rolling.
Okay, now just turn the pages, please, sir. Slowly. And start pointing out pictures. Where's Angie?
Yeah, this is her right here. Going up the ladder. And this is her and James sitting on the bunk bed, and I was mopping the floor. I put them up there to get them out of my way. And my brother and his wife right here. And that's my sister. You can't get a picture of her face. You can't see her face, but
Okay, that's fine, Jamie.
Ever tried to go fishing with
Okay.
a cast iron pole?
no,
First thing I want you to tell me about the strike of 34. What do you remember about it?
not too much. Like I told you before, it was just.
Don't ever say like I told you before.
Oh,
So the
okay.
audience knows this is the first time. It's just about the strike of 34. I don't remember much.
About as well, I don't remember much except the soup line. I think, and they had that down on Second Avenue.
how old and all
Oh,
your
I was
practice
only,
time?
well-
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Oh, the camera. Maybe we better get it. Is the camera going now?
Yeah.
Well, I was 8 years old, and I remember the soup lines, and I remember the militia. Or did they call it the militia? That's about all I remember about it, and then, you know, people being out of work and everything.
What did you remember about the soup lines?
Just is dipping out soup out of a big boiler. I didn't go through the soup line, but I seen the people going through it. Like I said, I was only 8 years old, so that's hard for me to remember anything like that.
Where were you living at the time?
River Road and right there where the Crystal is now, right across from where the Crystal is now.
You were telling me before about going up to the soup line, couldn't get any soup, so you and your brothers went into the bakery.
No, that wasn't the soup line. My brothers did go in the bakery, but they weren't supposed to do that.
What we're trying to do is to get some picture of what it was like during the Depression.
2 words, rough as a cob. That answers your question. It's rough as a cob. That was the time when the Echo was over there. They was giving out chicken broth where they had cooked chickens. And my brother, he went fishing with a safety pin. And that's just how rough it was. It was rough. And there was a lot of people out of work. Other than that, I mean, I don't know any other way to explain it to you. It's just rough as a cob.
What did your folks do?
Well, my father had died at that time. And my mother was working in the mill. She got laid till they got laid off up there at the Meredith's Mill, and then we done the best we could. Now that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
What did you eat?
Boiled fish, chicken broth that we got from the Echo. And once in a while, when Mama get a hold of some beans somewhere or another, I don't know. Like I said, I'm only about 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember really. But I do know is that a lot of times you go to bed hungry, wondering where breakfast is coming from. Now, if anybody don't believe that, come ask me. I'll tell them.
Tell me about the National Guard being around.
Oh, they were up there around the mill.
Sorry to say the National Guard.
Well, National Guard was up around the mills, just keeping people from going in there.
Keeping the people from going in, I mean.
Yeah, they was keeping the people from going into the mills, and I reckon they was expecting trouble. I don't think they ever had any, not really.
Did you ever see the National Guard?
Oh yeah, I seen them. Like when the time Mama took me up there to buy me a pair of shoes. Now where she got the money to get the shoes, I don't know. But then I see the National Guard
What were they doing?
just walking around with the guns on their shoulders. You know that strap on there. And she told me, let's go home.
What did she think about unions?
I don't know. I never heard her say one way or the other. She just, well, at that particular time, they were just trying to get a union started in this part of the country. And well, it didn't go over too well. They shut the Meredith's Mill down, said they would close the doors before they'd let a union organize in there. And they did. They closed the doors. They cut it closed by 2 o'clock, or when the shifts changed. They was going to go on strike, and the man closed the doors, shut off this machinery and closed the doors.
And then what happened?
Well, everybody was out of work. Some people had a garden, some people didn't, and ones that didn't have a garden was in a terrible place. I don't know and I don't know of any trouble at the National Guard. I mean, you know, any shootings, anything like that. Not personally. But I won't say it didn't happen either.
What about your own education?
I didn't have none. 6th grade. That's it. 6th grade formal education. I ain't quit learning yet. I'm 39 years old, believe it or not. No, you don't never stop learning. At least I did, and I'm still learning today.
What do you think, have you ever been a member of the union?
No.
What do you think of, I want you to talk about, what do you think about Angie's doing all this?
That's her business. If it's all right with, if that's what she wants, it's all right with me. That's the way I've always been with my children. Whatever they want to do, as long as they wasn't robbing banks or something, now it was all right with me. As long as it was legal. If that's what she wants, so be it. I'll back her every step of the way. And she'll tell you that. I'll back her just like I backed her when she was going to school. I'll let her tell that one, though. She can tell it better than I can.
How long did you live in Columbus?
All my life, you might say. I was raised there, and went in the Navy in '43. Well, I come back in '46, and then we left again. I reckon it must have been when about 60 or 61. I didn't come back again till up in the '70s. Just wasn't no money to be made. Like I'll tell you, like my wife told a friend of hers, we come back to Columbus to see her mother, and we was over on 2nd Avenue at that. Oh, I forgot the name of that store, but anyway, it's a clothing store over there. We was getting the kids up something from school, and this girl asked my wife, says, "Do you like it up there?" She says, "I like the money a whole lot better." So I made more money when I was in North Georgia, or up around Atlanta. And that's what she was going by, is the money I was making. And I think that people should get paid a decent wage, and anybody will tell you Columbus, Georgia is the cheapest darn town there is in the southeast, bar none. They even cheaper than Macon.
Why do you think that's true?
You don't want me to say that on film.
Why not?
I think people too darn sorry to pay anybody enough to live on, because they're afraid they're going to get a little bit ahead and then they can't get them to work for nothing. Now that's my opinion. They're afraid if they ever get a few dollars ahead, they're going to, like a man told me up in North Georgia, keep a man hungry and he'll work. That's the truth. Bert Hobbs told me that. He said, you keep a man hungry and he'll work. I don't like my family to be hungry. I don't guess anybody else does.
Well, why did you move out to the country from Columbus?
Oh, this is when I retired. So I wouldn't have to, well, you see, I got my garden, and Social Security just don't pay enough to live on. I got a bunch of stuff I've canned up since I've been here, and with my little old gardens, I do all right. But that's the reason I come here. And it was getting too crowded and too darn much. Wife had a nervous breakdown. It's down there in that. Anybody knows about 47th Street, and that's where we was living. Everybody knows about that place. Matter of fact, there've been a couple of killings up there lately.
Now, did your wife work in the mills?
No, she worked Tom Houston's. Oh, wait a minute. She worked 2 weeks in the mill. That's all she worked. The rest of her time, she worked Tom Houston's.
And you never worked in the mills?
Just before I went in the Navy, I worked about a year in the mill. When I come back out of the Navy, I wasn't going back in that cotton mill if I could help it. So I picked up a hammer.
Why not?
Well, I'm going back to the time I was. It's too much like a damn concentration camp, you don't know. They didn't pay nothing. They worked you all kinds of hours, and they's always threatening you to fire you, to go and hire somebody else. Who wants that kind of a deal? That's the way it was in 46 when I first come back. I told them to take that job. And how would Johnny Paycheck say that now? Take this job and shove it. And I went into construction work and been in it ever since.
I was wondering about health problems of people who were in the mills, if you knew anything about that.
Not really. I know a lot of them come out. Sam Turner, he come out of the mill. A lot of them come out, but I don't know of any health problems except alcohol, and I think the mill contributed to that, driving a man crazy. Them cotton mills back in the 40s was nothing to sneeze at. They tell you quick if you won't work if you give them any back talk, they tell you quick as a barefooted boy standing at the door waiting for your job.
Now, could you say that, just say back then and not just say the 40s, okay?
Well, back then, you could, they tell you quick, there's a barefooted man waiting for you at the door waiting for your job. When they told me that, I just said, well, goodbye. I think they told me I couldn't leave. And I told them, watch me.
Now, when you were in the mill, was there any talk about a union?
That was during the war.
Well, now we've had a number of people who've been scared to talk with us about all of this. Why do you think that is?
When I was in the mill, I was only 16 years old. Oh, wait a minute, I'll take that back. One time a union was mentioned. And a bunch of us got together to go to the office. We was going to demand higher pay. Everybody walked out but me. And I walked out later, but before the man got there from the office, everybody got up and walked out but me. Ain't nobody stand behind it. That was the problem. If you get enough people to stand behind it, it'd be just like it was up north, up Detroit and back up in there. You can get better pay. But you got to get the people to back you up. And I understand in Michigan, back up in there, they have what they call closed shops, where you can't, if you're not non-union, you don't work. And I reckon that's the best way. I don't know. Like I said, when I left the cotton mill in 1946, I went in construction work, and I stayed there. Oh, I worked at other jobs, you know, but I'd always going back to construction work. And when I went back to Atlanta in '60, I never held nothing but a construction job from then on.
I want you to, could you think about that story that you told about your brothers and the bakery? It just illustrates the Depression so well. I wonder if you could think about that. Tell
They went in there, broke in the bakery and stole some
Let's start it, my brothers.
Oh, my brothers, they went into the bakery, broke in the bakery and stole some cakes and pies so we could eat. That was it. Of course, they had to hide the pies in the sewer, but that's beside the point. They was wrapped up good in cellophane. They did. They hid the pies in the sewer. I hope they don't come out here and arrest me. Oh, that's been 50 years ago. I don't reckon it will. I think the statute of limitations run out on that one. I don't know where I'm doing you any good or not.
It's fine. 2 or 3 other things. There's been a big change in the relationships between the blacks and the whites. We were at the Union Hall yesterday, and there were about half blacks and so forth. Could you talk about that change, what you saw when you were a child and now?
Well, now, when I was a child, and I can only speak for myself, When I was a child, my mother taught me to call the older black people, I mean what we would call a grown person. Mind you, I'm back 8, 9 years old. And I was told to call the men uncle and the women auntie. And as far as I was personally concerned, I didn't have any prejudice against them. But I'm only speaking for myself. And when I went in the service, I still didn't have no problem with them. Of course, when I went in the service, it was mostly white. We didn't have but one black man aboard ship. It was mostly white. But as far as prejudice is concerned, I didn't have it back then because my mother taught me they was human beings too.
Now, what about the in the mill?
I don't know about the mills. I know that they didn't run no spinning jobs and no weave jobs and nothing like that. They were mostly janitorial help, I'd call it. They swept the floors and did the heavy work, working on the docks, moving them bales of cotton around, such as that. At least that's what I was told. Now, I really don't know except for the floor I was working on, and they were sweepers then.
Did you know any of them?
Not personally, no. I was told not to mistreat them, but right on the other hand, to keep my distance. And as far as associating with them, I reckon we associated about as much as any of them, especially after I got into the construction work. You're going to associate with them then, believe me.
Where did they live in Bibb City?
The black people? They live between 23rd and 24th Street, right on the railroad. And then across the railroad over there was a place they called the Bottoms, that they lived over there. That's over on Lower 10th Avenue. But there was some that lived over there between 18th and, I believe it was between 18th and 20th Street. It was a big place of them over there. And some of them lived up in Bellwood, but they were separated from the whites.
Okay, finally, Bill Wynn on the newspaper has been talking to us about the Ku Klux Klan. I wonder if you had any experience with them.
I did not. There was one time that they got on a man, but he had it coming.
Good to say, I didn't have any association with the Ku Klux Klan.
I didn't.
Okay. I just need you to say the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, I didn't have it. I didn't have anything to do with the Ku Klux Klan.
You know any? So then, nowhere around you did you see them in action?
I didn't know.
Did
I
you
had
ever-
heard of it, but I didn't see it.
That's what. Did you ever see any of the big Labor Day parades?
Not here, no.
We read about them in the papers, and I just wondered if you, as a child, if you remember. In the early 30s, there was a lot of country music around Columbus. Do you remember any of it? Could you talk about it?
Not in the early 30s, no. You talking about now when I wasn't nothing but I was born in 26. So in the 40s, there was a good bit of it. Johnny Barfield, for one. And I don't remember their names, but there was a couple of bands that played for dances and things like that. The one they had down at Textile Hall, that was in the early 40s. And then I left in mid-40s, and I didn't come back till the late 40s. I left in 43.
What about the baseball teams at the factories? Mills.
No, I didn't know anything about them. Had somebody talking about a baseball team? Well, they might have been. I couldn't say yea nor nay to that.
What's the big difference between Columbus now and Columbus when you were a kid?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Not only this, they got bigger and fatter. It's still who's got the money. Now, the man with money in Columbus can really get along. Man ain't got no money, he's SOL. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have nothing down there, you out of luck. Because they're going to keep you down just as long as they can. You go right back, there ain't a whole lot of difference, because right now, if you ain't got nothing, you don't have the money, and you're working for cheap wages, they're going to keep you on cheap wages just as long as they can. And like I said a while ago, it's to keep the man from getting a little bit ahead to where he can really make something out of himself, or do something. If you got a man hungry, he's going to work. That's what Bird Hobbs told me, and I believe it, and I believe it's all over Columbus the same way. And I didn't personally hear him say it, but they had said it was told. Gene Talman said a man in a pair of overalls wasn't worth $1 a day. Well, Herman can get mad about it if he wants to, but it's the truth.
Did you say that one more time about old Gene?
He said a man in a pair of overalls wasn't worth $1 a day.
Could you start out and say Gene Talman said?
Oh, Gene Talman said it, the working man wasn't worth $1 a day. That was back in the 30s. So he'd run for governor in 46 and he died then, I believe it was.
Did you ever see Gene in action?
No. No, when he was so active, I was too little, and then I went, like I said, and then when I went in the service and I come back, he died in 46. But I don't doubt what the people said about him.
He was, he made a lot of big speeches here in Columbus in 33 and 34.
He was running for governor.
Yeah.
And he was running on a bloody shirt.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know exactly, unless he's talking about killing somebody. Oh, back in the 30s, they were really down on the blacks. And he'd holler nigger and wave a bloody shirt, and a lot of these people voted for him because of that. I hope I don't have to leave.
Herman's in Washington. He's a long way from here.
No, Herman ain't either. He's in Lovejoy. He ain't a senator no more.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. He isn't a secretary.
He's in Lovejoy.
That's right.
I
That's
still
right.
remember reading about when they tried to have Herman succeed Gene.
Yeah, we're the only state that had 3 governors at one time.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah. That would all happen in 46. And let's see, there was Herman Talmadge, Ellis Arnold, and who was that other fellow now? Anyway, he was elected lieutenant governor, and he was going to take over the governorship. Herman wasn't going to have that. Of course, the legislature was the one that put Herman in office. Because you know that all come out in court later, and he had to wait another term. Boy, that was a mess. Lonely state with 3 governors at one time. Ellis Arnold wouldn't give it up to Herman Talmadge. Herman Talmadge moved him out. You heard about him taking the state patrol up there and moving Ellis Arnold out of the Capitol. Yeah.
I heard a locksmith in the Capitol got some real quick work that night, too.
I just don't know.
How's your worm business?
Well, I just got started in it. I done sold maybe 1 or 2 packs, but I just got started in it. It'll pick up.
Okay, Jamie. I'm gonna like to see in